Beyonce, she thinks so quick on her toes. She was like, you make me say, yeah, yeah, yeah. And we were all like, ah. What's poppin', everyone? I'm LaPortia, or maybe I should have said, what's breaking, everyone? Why? Because the Beyonce fans' water broke at her concert. I know, right? That's such a wild story. Let me tell you more. All right, so listen, I got the deets. She told reporters that it all started happening after Beyonce said, look around, everybody on mute. And I guess that baby said, I want to see Beyonce too, mama. And so the labor began. The woman says she thought it was contractions at first because she wasn't due for another week. So she did what any Beyonce fan would do. She kept grooving at the concert. And she said the contractions really started to hit during, you guessed it, Virgo's groove. They stayed until the end. And once it all was over, they got in the car and they realized, whoa, 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 whoa. This is not a drill. This baby is coming. And so they went right to the hospital and had a healthy baby girl named Lola. You want to know what else happened at Beyonce's birthday show? Well, just like the gracious queen she is, she paid tribute to another queen, Miss Mowry. And I just loved it. Because as you can see in the video, she spots Tia, waves and blows a kiss. And then because she is such a true musician, she quickly thinks of the group Tia and Tamera were in, known as Voices. And she incorporated it into 1+1, which is the song she was singing at the time. Now come to find out, this was a song that they practiced all the time when they were young girls in a group known as Girls Time, which later became known as Destiny's Child. Oh, she thought quick on her feet. I just love to see it. So essentially what I'm saying is queens recognize queens, and a true queen is never afraid to give credit or pay homage to another, which is why she also had Diana Ross come out and sing happy birthday to her. Now, isn't that just amazing? Fun fact, a few years ago, Beyonce was at Diana Ross's birthday party and also sung happy birthday to her. I love to see it. Speaking of queens, darling, tennis legends Serena and Venus' legacy continues to grow. For the first time in the sport's open era, 4 Black American players have made it to the quarterfinals of the New York City-based major championship. Listen, I'm like Issa Rae when I say I'm rooting for everybody Black. I love, love, love seeing Black girls in sports that you wouldn't normally see us in, even if I don't know what the hell is going on, all right? Okay, so we have Coco, who is favored to win her first major title. We have Madison Keys, who had a bumpy season, but she picked up a major win over Jessica, who is viewed as the top American woman. And then we have Frances Tiafoe and Ben Shelton, that match that happened on Tuesday. I mean, this is just great. And I'm so happy to see diversity growing in this sport. My little cousin is in tennis lessons right now, and it just makes me so proud. Okay, so we're keeping the theme of royalty and Black excellence going. All right, so VP Kamala Harris is letting it be known that she is ready to step up to the plate if needed. But let me add some context because it didn't just come out of nowhere. VP Harris was speaking with an Associated Press reporter who specifically asked her, and I quote, questions about the president's age often go hand in hand with questions about how you would step in the role if necessary. Do you feel prepared for that possibility? Has serving as vice president prepared you for that job? She said yes, and made it very, very clear that she was answering a hypothetical question. You know, I will admit that it's kind of sad that this very accomplished, very educated, Black Asian woman has to almost calm people down at even the thought that she may take office. if anything happens to President Joe Biden, because we know America was ready for a black, biracial, if you want to be specific, male president. But being ready for a black South Asian woman president, let me tell you something. The world consistently shows me that that is a whole different ball game. And like most women have to do in spaces, she almost answered in a way that had to still cater to being second tier, but instilling enough confidence in the viewers to know that she could do it. And trust me when I say that's exhausting. Being a woman is so hard, y'all. If you speak up for yourself too much, you are seen as annoying, bratty, egotistical. If you don't at all, you're seen as docile, weak, and crushable. So we're constantly having to find our place in the middle in this very patriarchal society, right? And VP Harris isn't perfect, but I would be remiss to pretend as if she doesn't have a huge weight on her shoulders. And if you're asking me, I say, man, flip the middle. You know what I mean? Be authentically you. Be the type of woman you are, because whoever we are, we all bring something great to this world, and don't let anyone tell you any differently. Which also brings me to a quick fun fact. With all of this talk about her stepping up and stepping in, because there's a difference, how many times in U.S. history has a vice president had to step up and step in? Well, according to Senate.gov, 15 VPs in total have gone on to take the highest office. Now, of those 15, eight of them took the highest office because the current president died, all right? Think about like Andrew Johnson, Theodore Roosevelt, Lyndon B. Johnson, and there's definitely some crossover there because some of them were also re-elected for full terms, and a few of them were later elected president not due to a death. So, you know, there's a lot of specifics there. Think Joe Biden. Well, that depends on how you see the Trump era. Do you see it as a death era? No? All right. And of the many VPs and presidents, guess how many of them have been women? One. So yeah, forgive me if I cut her some slack here and there. Well, speaking of political messes in history, I've been waiting for years to say this. Hold up, let me. Baby, you going to jail. You guessed it. I'm talking about the former leader of the very, very far right Proud Boys group. Well, he's officially been sentenced to 22 years in prison. It represents the longest punishment handed down yet in a case stemming from the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. The Africa Channel's Sarah Mowry has more. I'm excited to hear this, Sarah girl.
More than 2 decades behind bars for the man U.S. District Judge Timothy Kelly called the ultimate leader behind the January 6th attack on the Capitol. In Tuesday's hearing, Kelly said former Proud Boys chairman Enrique Tarrio was motivated by revolutionary zeal. What happened that day did not honor the founders. It was the kind of thing they wrote the Constitution to prevent, the judge said. Before being sentenced for seditious conspiracy and other charges, Tarrio apologized for the, quote, pain and suffering that was caused. Quote, I am not a political zealot. Inflicting harm or changing the outcome of the election was not my goal. Tarrio also adding, I held myself morally above others, and this trial has shown me how wrong I was. Tarrio was not in D.C. on January 6th, having been arrested days before and ordered by a judge to leave the city for burning a D.C. church's Black Lives Matter banner and bringing high-capacity rifle magazines into the district the previous month. But the judge said even though Tarrio wasn't there, the Proud Boys leader, quote, had an outsized impact on the events of the day. During the months-long trial, prosecutors showed evidence that Tarrio was readying for a revolution and helped create a command structure within the Proud Boys in the run-up to the insurrection. Make no mistake, Tarrio told other Proud Boys on January 6th, we did this. During Tuesday's sentencing hearing, the prosecutor called Tarrio the leader of this conspiracy that targeted our entire system of government. Tarrio's attorney promising an appeal.
We respectfully disagree. but yet we respect it. There'll be a day and a time where an appeal will come, and we expect the appeal to come soon.
All right, on to something a little bit more serious. I am so deeply disturbed by this next story. A woman got hit in the face with a brick. Yes, I am not making that up. And guess why? Because she didn't give the man her number. You recall earlier in the show, we were talking about fragile male egos, right? Well, this isn't just fragile, it's sadistic. And check this out. The woman says there were other men standing around watching as it happened. Take a look for yourself.
Yo, this man just hit me in my face with a brick and all these black men just watched. Have I ever done to anybody in my life to deserve this? I never did anything in my life to hurt anybody. Literally, a man asked me for my number. I said no, and he picked up a brick in front of so many men and was like, what you gonna do? And I told all these men, like, yo, why this man got a brick on my face?
This story makes me sick, and all the while is too familiar. No woman deserves to be attacked for not wanting to give a man her number. I was talking with my friends about this, and it's so crazy that as a survival mechanism, we all said that we give our numbers because it's just not worth the risk for us to deal with the consequences of a stranger who may be stronger than you or have more of an ego than you or don't know how to deal with rejection, you know. And I always say, you can have my number all you want, but getting me to pick up the phone is a totally different story, honey. For goodness sake, my number is on the internet somewhere. And I want to be very, very clear. Don't mistake what I'm saying. I'm not saying she should have given the number or anything like that. I'm just saying that this is a real life story that women, we go through every day. We have to make decisions about every aspect of our life, you know, knowing that at any given moment, a man could do what he did, just like that. You know what seeing Beyonce do all of that taught me? Is that just keep doing you. You never know who is watching. You never know who is rooting for you. And you just never know when someone is waiting, just waiting to give you your credit on such a public platform like that. I mean, I know that Tia was so excited because when Beyonce recently told me she loves me, I was beyond excited, and I'm never gonna stop telling the story. All right, see you tomorrow, girls.